2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker podcast with the world famous Andy Shaver. I'm just Jeff Stanfield.
He's just regular old Jeff Stanfield. That's all he is, and that's probably all he'll ever be with that attitude. You got to think big, Jeff. You got to think big if you want to make it to my level.
I think my window's closed on all that to be where you're at.
You never know.
You want to introduce the guy with us today?
I will. We got the young pup. Isn't that what they call you over there at Dive Bomb?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Cade Trickey.
Yep.
Where's he from, Andy?
He's from Judsonia, Arkansas.
Very good, very good.
You got it.
I didn't even fucking write it down, Cade. This is why the show, if I ever leave this show, it's just going to fucking fall on its face. It's because I remember things like that.
Yep, you can hear the fucking fiddles banging in the back in Judsonia, Arkansas right now.
That's a hard.
Cade, how you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing good, man.
Cade is
really good.
Cade was probably one of my favorite people that we had up here this year.
No kidding.
Yeah, lots of personality. You're an enjoyable young man. You're polite. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20 fucking years old,
Yes.
and you've been all over the United States getting to waterfowl hunt this year.
Yeah, I've been really blessed, man. I got to see a lot of cool stuff that most people don't ever get to see.
How many different states did you hunt in this year?
Man, I was thinking about that right before I called. I was trying to add it up real quick in my head. Without going back and looking, I wouldn't even be able to put a number on it.
Well, you're from Judsonia. We don't expect you to really be math to be a big thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of my strong suits. I don't know, probably I'd say 12, 13 maybe states.
I figure it was more than that even.
Maybe more than that, but a lot of the states we've been to multiple times.
Right.
We've been to Texas probably 3 times this year, Oklahoma twice, Kansas a couple of times. The Central Flyway we've hit pretty much every state a couple different times.
Where was the hardest hunting for you this year? Because let's be honest, when you guys are coming to hunt, people are resting fields and doing everything they can to make your hunt the best it possibly can be. Where was the hardest hunting that you dealt with Mother Nature and just tough days?
Man, probably at Cold Bay, Alaska. That was tough. The conditions over there just the whole experience in Alaska was so much different. Take everything you know about waterfowl hunting and it does not apply out there. It's all different. So probably there, especially the conditions, it's overcast and rainy every day. The temperatures when we were there, we were there in late September. It really wasn't brutally cold. It was low 30s at night, up into the 40s during the day, but it's always windy. And it's always raining, so you're always wet. It's a different kind of cold. You're cold no matter what, but it's not. The temperature may not. I mean, you look at the weather and you think it's not going to be cold today, but when you go outside, you end up cold.
Well, and I mean, just everything that surrounds the hunt is difficult. It's not. I mean, you're not driving to a spot. You're not. You're walking everything
into a field. Yeah, you're walking in or boating in, and most of the time you're boating half the way and walking the rest of the way.
So, go ahead.
I mean, that's definitely the hardest place we've hunted this year.
Now, did you eat good while you were up there? A lot of crab and.
Man, we ate brant for like at least once a day, every day.
So you ate goose. You're eating what you killed.
Oh.
We ate brant. Yeah, we ate. You eat what you kill out there. There ain't no Sonic down the road. It's I think the population's like 20, and the only way to get there is by a boat or a plane. And they have one little grocery store. It's like the size of probably this shed in your backyard. And they have like a head of lettuce and a can of dip. That's about all they got.
So as a tobacco user, is that like, do you have to have all that shit taken care of before you get there?
Yeah, me and Nick, we both brought a roll of dip before we got there. And we ended up going to the little store and they had a couple of cans and we just bought them all up. And we made it last for the week.
I bet the locals cussed your ass out when they were fucking in
yeah, they probably did because we bought them out. There wasn't nothing left. And they bring in a new shipment. This goes for the whole store, like tobacco, candy, food. I think it comes in every 2 weeks. So like if they run out of like mac and cheese, it's gone for 2 weeks until the next shipment comes in.
They were definitely cursing those.
There was them fucking fucking bottomlanders down there. So
bottom 48er.
What's the weirdest way you had brant then?
Damn, I can't even remember all the ways we had it. We had brant wings. So up there, you have to clean. You can't just pull the breast out and call it good like we do here. You have to clean the legs and the wings, or else it's wanting waste. So we basically ate any kind of edible portion of the brant. But we had brant wings. That was probably the weirdest thing. Going into it, I really didn't want to eat one, but I was being polite, and they made them and everything. We started eating them, and I think we ended up cleaning them out. They were actually pretty damn good.
And it's the actual wing, like it's not like something. It's the actual fucking wing of the brant.
What else would you call wings?
Well, like you got like boneless wings, and that's just the fucking breast. So don't let them fool you.
Yeah, no.
No,
the wings, about bone-in, traditional style wings.
I mean, Rocky Mountain oysters are really balls, Jeff.
Yes,
so like, don't come at me with fucking technicalities here. I want to make sure that we're talking about the actual wings.
Understand what kind of fucking wing you thought he was going to be eating.
Where the fuck you think a Rocky Mountain oyster is? There's no oysters in Rocky Mountains.
I understand that. I know they're fucking bull balls.
Okay, so
anyways, back to these brant wings. So what else did you have? You told me when you were here something about, and I can't remember what it was. There was what?
Damn, I was hoping you would remember, dude. That's
God dang it, because I've always thought about that story when you told me that. It was some other part of the branch y'all ate, and I just like
we had brant stew. Brant sandwiches.
Sandwiches, that was it. And I thought, God, that does not sound good at all.
It sounds like...
And that was... That was on day one. We got off the plane, come into the lodge, and he's like, we get off the plane, step into the lodge, drop our bags in the room. He's like, we got brant sandwiches on the table. Or no, he didn't even tell us. He said I think he just said, because it was barbecue. It was like pulled pork, but with brant. And I think he just said we had barbecue sandwiches or something like that. And so we're like, oh, hell yeah, whatever. So we go sit down at the table, and he's like, we're going to eat these real quick and then go walk in for a brant hunt. We just landed, and we're like, damn, we're already hunting? So he's like, yeah, eat these sandwiches, and then we'll go walk in and hunt this evening. So we sat down, and it was a weird-ass texture. It was like pulled pork, but you could tell it wasn't pork. And we ate it, and it was pretty good, but it was day one, so we're kind of in shock already, like trying to take it all in. And we kind of ate them, like, slowly, like, just kind of weird, knowing something wasn't right. And then we ended up finishing lunch and went hunting. And I was like, what the hell did we eat for lunch? And he's like, oh, that was pulled pork brant.
Pulled pork brant. Like, you left out the pork.
Dude, I haven't even killed a brant. Like, what am I eating? I don't even know what this is. But
so how much meat is there on a brant wing? Like, you got to eat a million of them? It's like chicken wings? You got to eat a million of them to make a meal?
Yeah, they're pretty small. I don't know. A brant's probably the size of mallard, so probably, if you can imagine pulling a mallard wing out, about that size. But it's just a bone with that much meat on it.
We've got a brant mounted above Andy right here, and I'm looking at that motherfucker, and some bitch looks a whole lot better mounted than it would on a fucking piece of bread.
Just imagine that on your plate.
I've cleaned thousands of geese. Thousands. Not once have I ever taken the wing apart to see how much meat is on.
I've never heard of anybody doing it until now. Never. When you're fucking hungry, though, you're hungry.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers.
Feet and everything else if you're hungry enough.
God almighty, I bet there ain't very many fat fuckers on that little island or that little town you're on.
No. Those guys are a different breed. And it makes cleaning birds take so much longer, too, because you can't just, we can do it pretty quick pulling the breast, just pulling the skin apart and cutting the breast out. But you got to do that, and you got to cut the legs off and then the wings. So it takes pretty good while to clean everything up.
But we would go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're in a part of the world where there's fucking crabs, king crabs, and you're eating a goddamn brant wing.
Yeah, dude. But we also had a lot of cool stuff. One night, one of the neighbors, this is kind of crazy. The neighbor, the dude that lived right beside where we were staying, he come over and he's like, "Hey, I killed a caribou this morning.
Oh, there you go.
You want this leg?" So we walk into the garage, and there's a caribou leg hanging from cheesecloth in the garage, and they're like, "Yeah, that's what we're having for dinner." That was pretty damn good.
Thank you, Jesus.
Similar to, yeah. We had caribou, and then we caught some salmon. Had those one day. What else do we have?
See, now you're talking.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're eating brant every day. I mean, go fishing.
Well, we ate 3 meals. Every meal you cook, there's no fast food or nothing like that. So we would cook. We usually had a pretty traditional breakfast, biscuits and gravy or something like that before the hunt. We would go hunt, kill the brant, bring them back, and usually I think we had brant for lunch. We would kill them, bring them back, clean them, and throw them on the grill or however they were cooking them that day, crock pot, whatever. That's what we had for lunch, and then we would just kind of hang around and screw off the rest of the day, and then we'd have a main course for dinner, which was usually like salmon or caribou or what else do we have? Shit, I can't even remember what all we had.
One of the best meals I ever had in my life was, there's two are shore lunches, fishing up north and eating walleye, and I had moose in the Minto Flats in Alaska, and boy, that was about as good a meal as I ever had in my life.
I don't think I've ever had moose.
It's really good, yeah.
I've never had caribou.
Oh. What was the shore lunch that you're talking about?
Just fried potatoes and fried fish in Wisconsin or Minnesota on the shore. A guide, you go on a fishing trip and they make shore lunch.
Yeah,
we did that one day. It's good stuff.
We had I think it was like Wednesday, or it was midweek. It was the middle of the week that we were there, and Charlie, the guide, the head captain over there, he was calling it the big day, and so basically we packed 2 meals. We packed a cooler full of food and drinks and everything. We got in the boat, and it was like an 1.5-hour boat ride to this bay that we hunted. And everything out there is tidal. Like, it doesn't depend, like, you're not waking up and hunting at daylight necessarily. It just depends on when the tide's coming in and out. But this spot was such a long boat ride. You had to motor in during high tide, and then you hunt as the tide's falling. That's when you kill them, because you hunt on the beach, and then when the tide starts falling out, all these brant are rafted up in the middle of the bay. You can see them and hear them out in front of you. And as the tide starts falling, they'll just kind of trickle off and come up to the beach to feed on eelgrass. So you basically just put your decoys. We ran the V2F black and whites, just stuck them in the beach. And you basically just sit on the edge of the beach right at the high water mark and cover up with the eelgrass, and no blind or anything. You just sit on the beach. And we hunted all day like that. So we motored in at high tide, hunted as the tide fell out, and then you're stuck. Your boat's on dry ground. You got to sit there until high tide comes back. Oof. So it's like you get there before daylight at high tide. You hunt all day. Tide goes all the way out, and then you're stuck until that evening when the tide comes back. So that was the big day. We stayed on the beach all day. And for lunch, we brought what did we bring? We had tortillas and potatoes and stuff like that, seasonings. And then we actually cut the brant that we killed that morning. We sliced them up and put them on the propane grill and made brant fajitas that we just killed on the beach. And those were actually pretty freaking good. I don't know if it was just because we were in the middle of nowhere and hadn't ate for 3 days.
Because you wrapped it up in a tortilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything's good in a tortilla. You can put a dog turd in a tortilla.
I think I remember seeing that on Instagram. Didn't y'all didn't y'all have a brant come in like as y'all are cooking lunch?
It was a honker. We had or maybe not a honker. It was a Canada goose though. It came in. We shot all different sizes of Canada geese. They've got the Aleutian geese, which are like the smallest of the. I think they're the smallest of the Canada goose. They're smaller than. We shot some of those, and then we shot mid-sized geese, and we shot a couple big honkers. I think that was a big honker that came in while we were eating lunch. We had the propane grill fired up. Everybody was munching. This goose started honking, and he was coming in, so I grabbed my camera and started videoing. He come right in. We shot him while we were eating. That's the one you're thinking of that you saw on Instagram.
But the food, I mean, it looked good. I didn't know what y'all were eating that day, but it looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, it actually really was good. All the food that we had, it was kind of culture shock for me, being from Arkansas. I ain't never ate anything remotely close to what we were eating that week. But, I mean, looking back at it, I really didn't eat anything that was disgusting. Some of the stuff was really, really good, and some of the stuff was, good enough you could eat it. But we never really had anything that was just, well, and also, like, if it's too gross to eat, if you're a pussy and don't want to eat it, then you just go without a meal, because there ain't nothing else to eat. So you go for a day without eating, the next day, don't matter what we're having, you're probably going to eat it.
I'm not a big fan of Spam, but if I think I was going up there again, I'd be taking some Spam with me or something.
Yeah, I would have definitely liked some Viney Weenies while I was out there.
I agree with you there. So, what logistics on that? Did you fly into Fairbanks, Juneau? What'd y'all do? Anchorage?
Yeah. So that was a pretty long stretch that I went on. I think I was going for 30 days. That stretch, I left home. We actually flew to upstate New York. We started there on that stretch. We hunted up there. Just like one of the days we were less than a mile from the Canadian border. We were way up there hunting honkers for 2 days, and then we left. We flew from upstate New York to Chicago, had a layover in Chicago, flew from Chicago to Anchorage, spent the night in Anchorage, and then the next morning flew from Anchorage to Cade Bay. That was a lot of travel. Coming from New York to Cade Bay, Alaska, that's like 4 different time zones. So we got there at noon and felt like it was time to go to bed.
Oh, I'm telling you, were probably so fucking jet lagged.
Huh?
Yeah, it was weird. And then we hunted that afternoon that we got there, and then the next morning when we woke up, I don't even remember setting an alarm. We woke up at like 9 o'clock and it was still dark outside, and I was like, "What in the world? This is weird."
Where did how what was the plane like ride from Anchorage to Cold Bay? Were you on a pontoon boat or were you on a plane?
Man, no, it really wasn't that small. It was a commercial airline. It was, one of the smaller ones. It was a tiny commercial line, but it wasn't really much different than what you would fly on here in the States. They got one runway there in Cold Bay, and I think it comes in twice a week on Sunday and Wednesday.
So you didn't have to fly on a bush plane. That's what I was thinking of. Bush plane.
No, we didn't.
That was one of the coolest experiences I had, was getting to land or flying a bush plane in Alaska, buzzing over the trees. It's just so unnatural to land on water.
Yeah, dude. I kind of wished we would have flown on something like that, but we didn't. But I know what you're talking about, flying with Forrest and our little dive bomb plane, that little Cessna we've got. Forrest is a damn good pilot, and he does some sketchy stuff. And we've flown over some cool rivers and some cool landscapes. They look so cool from the air, being in such a small plane.
If something happens to him up in the air, you're going to have to land that bastard yourself.
Yeah, and I have no idea what I'm doing. We've went over that so many times. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just jump before we hit the ground.
So he's actually explained to you if something happened to him what you should do?
Yeah, he's tried to.
That does not make you feel good.
No.
Yeah, he's like trying to teach me how to fly a rocket while I'm up in the air.
That's the old guy that flew us in Alaska is doing that. There's not there. We were in the mountains going into the Minto Flats, and he's like, "If something happens to me," I'm like, "Well, buddy, if it's your time to go, it's probably going to be mine."
Yep. What'd you do in Alaska?
I went when I was 30 years ago. Me and my dad and a good friend of mine, Matt Reagan, and another guy, we went to the Minto Flats, which is a big water, just a flooded area basically, north of Fairbanks, 80 to 90 miles. I think it's 2,500 or 25 million or 2.5 million acres or something. It's ridiculous. Damn. And we hunted and fished we stayed in a cabin for a week up there. Well, they call it a cabin. I call it a fucking Morgan building with a wood burning stove in it. The shitter was behind there about 50 yards, and you had to walk down a polar bear infested trail to get to it. Jeez. And it's one place I've ever taken a shit in my life and had a gun in my lap while I did it.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
But I shot spruce hens or grouse or whatever they want to call them out of the. Yeah. When I was taking a shit, I'd shoot a spruce hen every time. They'd flap off the trail and land on the trees. So I'd shoot a spruce hen every time I was taking a shit.
What were you? Waterfowl hunting?
Yeah, we were waterfowl hunting. It was a kind of it was really a pretty cool deal. The guy sold the trip as a do-it-yourself deal. He had decoys for you, and he dropped you off, and then he'd come back later, and he would check on you like 3 or 4 days later. The only problem is we got snowed in a couple extra days, and I was getting fucking hungry because we only ate, and I do not eat ducks and geese.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were y'all just hunting, like puddle ducks or
water? Yeah, ducks, geese. We shot ducks and geese both. The hunting was not that great. And because I'm used to where we are here, you got a chance to call in everything. Up there, there's 2.5 million acres of flooded marsh and shit. It's not like what you got there is any different than anywhere else.
Yeah, you ain't running traffic.
Fuck no. Basically, you're hunting on the river, and the birds fly up and down the river. Saw swans, saw moose. Yeah. It was a great trip. It was basically, you could see Denali where we were from. The guy died a long time ago, but it was a trip he sold, and my dad and them went 4 or 5 times. And I went one time, but it was a really neat trip. It was a beautiful place. I'm glad I did it. I would like to take my kids to do it. Yeah. Andy and Zach would be awful bored up there. But because the hunting is not what they would, they're wanting to shoot everything you see, and you can't. You just.
I wouldn't be bored.
I think that you would get frustrated with the hunting because you just go to another fucking marsh to set in, and the same thing. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful place. But I enjoyed more motoring around in the boats up and down the rivers and seeing the moose and bear and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Like, it was an awesome experience, and I'm so glad I did it. But it's not necessarily somewhere I just want to go spend my free time.
Right. Now, as far as, like, having a brant come in, is that very difficult, or is they pretty stupid?
No, I think they're pretty dumb. They actually decoyed really well. I can send you some videos when we get off here, but basically you're just laying on the rocks or laying on the beach, and you got your 24 floaters out, and then we ran silhouettes on the beach.
You'll use that term beach awful loose.
What did
you use that term beach awful loose?
Yeah, it's not the beach that you think of. No. But I mean, it's not really, it's not your traditional waterfowl. I mean, you're just putting quiz out there and waiting, and they basically just come in on their own. You don't call them or really anything like that. They basically just get off the.
Your phone's cutting out.
Out of the bay, and they come crawling. They don't ever get more than like 6 foot off the water. They fly real low. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Damn it!
Your phone was cutting out a little bit.
It could be the.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. It could be the podunk internet speed. So really,
that's probably what it is.
The guide there is more just like a captain making sure you get to your destination safely.
Yeah.
Not so much as like a guide like in my sense where doing all the shit, calling and all that stuff. He's more just I gotta get you there safely and get you back.
Basically. It's not it's not your traditional guide that we think of. You're not burning the roads and scouting and finding feeds and stuff like that. It's basically where the brant are. They're in the bay. You don't have to scout. You know where they're at. You basically just the guide goes with you and makes sure you're safe, gets you to the right spot. Just that type of stuff. But as far as like guiding the hunt, it's basically just sitting down and waiting. And
what's the limit up there? How many brant can you shoot in a day?
2 brant a person.
2 brant a person. And you're gonna get every ounce of meat off of that motherfucker.
Yeah, it's you could shoot like the limit's 2, but you could shoot a shitload. Like there's plenty of birds. It was never a problem for us to shoot our limit.
Yeah,
we usually shot them. Most of the time we were actually so with brant they banned. I think like 10% of them are banded. Like they banned a shitload of these things, and but with last year being COVID and all that stuff, for whatever reason they didn't ban last year. So we knew going into it that our chances of shooting a band or a tarsal was going to be on an adult because the juvies obviously this last year they didn't get banded. So most of the time there was enough birds we were being pretty picky and only shooting adults. The adults have a big white ring on their neck. So most of the time we were being patient and waiting on a good shot on a good adult. It was pretty tough. You couldn't really watch their legs and band hunt technically, but if you shot adults, I think we had 6 or 7 shooters every day. And if we shot 7 limits of adult brant, there was a pretty good chance we would shoot a band. We shot, I think out of the week we were there, we shot 4 banded birds and 3 of them had tarsals.
So the white rings are the adult bird. So
that's adult. Yeah, the juvies are like gray.
So we've got an adult one mounted and a juvie, and then we've got.
But is one of these an Atlantic?
Yeah, these are both Pacifics. That's an Atlantic up there.
Where?
The one up top's an Atlantic. We've killed all of them. We used to.
So if it has white on its neck, it's going to be an adult bird.
Right. Most of the time you're shooting them pretty close. The wind's so strong. It's like 40, 50 mile an hour wind, pretty common. So they're not flying very fast. They're coming into the wind. They're flying pretty slow. It's pretty easy to pick your shots.
That sounds absolutely freaking miserable.
40 to 50 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, it was definitely nothing short of miserable, but it was fun.
It's once in a lifetime trip. I mean, it truly is.
That's exactly what it is.
And the fact that you got to go in on it at 20 years old, you got to be like the envy of some of these people. You're like, that little bastard.
Yeah, dude, it was. I've gotten to see a lot of cool stuff that I probably didn't deserve.
No,
you go hard on yourself there.
Yeah, you do the things that you do with the camera. I mean, don't take anything away from yourself. You deserve everything that you're getting.
Very talented, and you got to shoot a nice deer this year with Rustin, didn't you?
I did.
What that score?
I never even put a tape on it, man. It wasn't nothing crazy. Maybe 130.
Such a humble young man, I'm telling you.
Blake, did you shoot it with a rifle?
I did.
Well, he ain't gonna waste his time.
Yeah.
Blake's it was kind of a weird
now.
Blake killed 1 deer with a bow, so let's don't go overboard on this. Blake's a big bow hunter.
He hunts a lot with a bow.
Okay, but he's not a big killer. Is that better? He's not a bow killer.
Not a bow
killer. He's a bow hunter
yet, but he is a bow hunter. So, but Blake knows he knows the ins and outs. I mean, had he shot a deer, he'd fucking tell you to the centimeter what that thing scored.
I would have too if it was, I saw 2 bucks that were probably the first evening. So we duck hunted with Rustin that morning, and then obviously we were done. We shot our limit or whatever. And they already had the next field locked down for the next day. And Rustin, this is in like November. Rustin's like, I'm going deer hunting this evening. And I was just chilling at the lodge. I think I was just working on my computer or something. He was like, you want to go with me and just like video it or take a picture or something like that? I was like, sure, I'll go. I ain't got nothing else to do. We get out there and he's like showing me pictures from his trail camera. And he's like, this is the one I want to shoot. I'm not going to shoot anything else. It was like a 180. It was a huge deer, like 180 mainframe 8-point or some shit. And he's like, anything else besides this deer comes out, you're welcome to shoot it if you want. I was like, cool. So, and I started looking at him. I already had my license. All I needed was a deer tag. So that first evening I couldn't shoot because I didn't have a tag or whatever. I had a hunting license, I just didn't have a tag. So that first evening we hunted and saw 2 really, really good bucks like 5 minutes after shooting light. You could just barely see them. So that kind of got me jacked up. So I went to Academy that night and bought my $10 deer tag or whatever. And that next morning we went. And this buck come out and he was probably 315 yards across this field walking away from us. And Rustin was like, well, you want to shoot him? And I just put my scope on him and seen he had good horns. And I was like, yeah, I'll shoot him, whatever. I don't care. This is my last day in Texas. I got a license, might as well. So he just handed me his gun and I just popped him at 300 yards and he ran like 20 yards and died.
300 yards?
It was a poe. It was definitely the longest I've ever shot a deer. But he was like, I don't know if this gun, I've never shot it that far, but I know it's capable of it. And he was like, just aim a little high. And I was like, all right. So I just put the crosshairs right on his spine and made a perfect shot. He didn't go far. It was kind of a spur of the moment deal. It was, I'm used to bow hunting, and I bow hunt here in Arkansas quite a bit, and it's definitely a different change of pace hunting out there in Texas, big open country with a rifle. But
now, it was cool. Do you turkey hunt with a bow also, or you use a shotgun? I do
not. I think turkey hunting's a shotgun sport. I don't have anything against shooting with a bow. That's not my speed.
Yeah.
That place you hunted with Rustin's really a good place. Rustin's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
And he is probably he's one of the nicest human beings I know.
Rustin is a great dude, man. He is awesome. I really enjoyed hanging out with him.
Well, I was sure hoping he was going to let me come shoot that big deer, but he never did call me about that. So I will be discussing it with him, though.
Yeah. That place we hunted is awesome. There's so many deer in that place.
Yeah, it borders the Wagner. I mean,
I've never hunted in Texas like that.
What an awesome ranch. It's a hell of a place over there.
So what do you have going on now? So dark season is closed basically everywhere. Is it open anywhere?
Yep.
Am I missing any place? I bet it's closed.
It's still open. We've actually got I'd have to look at my schedule. I think it's in a couple weeks. We're going to it's March 9th, I believe, because it was messing up my dates. I was trying to go to Florida to turkey hunt, killing Osceola early in March, but it's not going to work. We're going to Oregon March 9th to hunt specs.
Okay.
They have a late spec season.
How late does it go?
A lot of them and a lot of bands. I think that's the end of it. I think we'll finish it out. I think it's like March 10th, March 11th, something like that is the end of it.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like, it's crazy to think that they can still shoot specs out there, and they shoot a shitload of bands, dude.
Oh, so y'all are hunting the Klamath River Basin?
Yeah. Yep.
That would be
That's in freaking March. So how much turkey hunting are you going to get to do this year? What other trips do you have? So you go there? Do you go anywhere until then?
No, we're winding down pretty hard now. We're almost to the end of it. I got to go to Oregon and California, and then I'll be done. I got 2 more trips, I think. And then, so I'll be done. My last trip for Dive Bomb this year is March 9th, March 10th, Oregon hunt. And then I come home on the 12th, and turkey season opens March 15th in Mississippi. And from where I'm at, it's only 2.5 hours to Mississippi. So as soon as I get done with Dive Bomb that weekend, I'll be opening up turkey season in Mississippi. And as far as, if it goes as how I'm planning, I'm going to hunt quite a bit, man. Turkey hunting, that's my gig. I like it. That's my favorite thing in the world. So I'll probably do more than the average guy.
Well, you're passionate about turkey hunting, because I remember last year you went to public land, and didn't you end up sleeping in your car for 3 or 4 nights?
I did, man. I spent a week in Mississippi. That first week of season, it opens so early. It opens, the whole state of Mississippi opens March 15th, and I think it's really because South Mississippi, the further south you go, the earlier the turkeys start getting ready. Like South Florida, it opens like the 1st of March or like March 7th or 5th or something like that. But so the season opens in Mississippi, and I'm hunting in north Mississippi. So the turkeys, the season's open, but the turkeys aren't necessarily in their spring moods. Like, they're still bunched up. They are gobbling a little bit, but not like they are in April. So it's tough hunting, but it's legal, so I'm gonna be there doing it. Sleeping in my truck.
You're gonna do that again this year?
Trying to. Oh yeah, dude, that's what I live for. I freaking love it.
You're insane.
It's my favorite thing in the world, man. It's tough hunting. Like, last year, I was down there. The first 3 days, I heard one turkey gobble. He gobbled one time on the limb that morning. Never caught up with him, and then hunted for 2 more days without hearing a gobble. And then I think this was on Friday, and my brother was calling me. He was wanting to hunt, and I was like, well, the hunting's been terrible. Turkeys aren't gobbling, but if you want to come hunt, I'm going to be here. So he drove down and met me, and we slept in our trucks that night. And that morning we walked into a new place that I just kind of scouted off Onyx, never been in there. We walked in a good ways and got to a high point at daylight where we could listen. And, dude, the woods just lit up. There was like 8 different gobbling turkeys in there. We ended up killing one of them. That was freaking awesome hunt, dude. That was one of the best, well, not one of the best turkey hunt. Most memorable, doing it with my brother out of state on public, tough conditions, birds aren't gobbling. Got it done. That was super rewarding. That's what lights my fire, man.
The turkey. Did you get did you hunt with Matt and them in Washington this year?
Matt
yes,
Judy?
Yeah.
I did. Actually, only time I got up there to hunt with him this year was in September. We hunted early honkers.
Okay, you didn't go shoot on. You wasn't in on the big widgeon fiesta.
I was not. No, we went. With Dive Bomb went back in January, but we sent Kyle and Forrest out there. Me and Nick and Asher. I can't remember where we were at. I think we were in North Dakota or something. But Matt, he came down to Texas with us. And that was a good time. He's such a goof, man. He's fun to hang around. But yeah, he's the freaking widgeon king, dude.
Yes, he is.
We had him on, I guess, last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, for him to be able to hunt in those conditions every day, like, my hat's off to him. Like, nothing's ever dry.
He is crazy, dude. It rains every single day, and they're hunting in like mud hole. Like, I think I got it bad in the mud. Well, they got it just as bad up there. They're always hunting in some kind of little mud flat or something, laying out in it, doing some crazy stuff. But they freaking mark the widgeon. It's so funny too, because he's like such a big group type of guy. Like, I was asking him, he scouts every single day. Like, his job, he's got a weird job. He doesn't work during the season, during waterfowl season. So he basically just hunts every day. And I'm like, how do you have enough buddies? Because he's like always putting up like 100 stacks of widgeon or mallard or something. I'm like, how do you have enough buddies to do that every day? Like, do you not ever just like go with one other person and just go shoot a 2-man for the fun of it? Because I really enjoy small groups, like 2-man, 3-man hunts. That's my gig. He's like, no, dude, screw that. Like, I ain't messing with the 2-man. Like, it's like 10 guns or bust. I'm like, dude, golly.
Go big or go home, baby. You got to do it for the ground.
Mm-hmm.
How much snow do y'all have on the ground in Arkansas right now?
Dude, I bet we've got a foot right now.
Really?
I
don't know if you could.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but it's freaking white.
Now,
dude.
did you get most of that yesterday, or did you get that like Sunday, Monday?
Man, I just got home yesterday. I've been in Kansas all week, but I think they got the majority of it like Sunday and Monday maybe, and then it snowed all day yesterday and all night last night. I think we got another 3 or 4 inches last night. Because there was a lot of ruts on the road yesterday that were completely filled in today. So we still got probably at least half of it last night, but I think we're done. The sun's out right now. It's starting to burn it off the roads, and we don't have any more in the forecast. It's going to be 60.
It's going to be a sloppy son of a bitch
Tuesday
next week.
So,
yeah,
it's going to be a sloppy mess, dude. It's going to be so wet.
What do you think that this is going to do to the snow goose hunters?
Man, I think the people that are hunting right now, I know a lot of people that have canceled their clients and canceled their hunts just because the roads have been bad. But the people that are hunting right now, the birds are so, they're in survival mode right now. I've never seen this in my life. The Cache River is froze salt. You can walk across the Cache River. I've never seen that in my life. There's no open water. Like, today's a little bit better with the sun being out. I'm sure it's opening some stuff up. But past couple of days, there's been nothing, no open water. So I don't know where the birds are sleeping at night. But the snow geese that we've got, the people that are hunting them are killing them, like shooting adults, decoying, which is not common. But I think, I don't know, with this whole Arctic blast or whatever you want to call it, I think a lot of our geese have pushed south, which I haven't been hunting here, so I really don't know. I haven't been scouting, but just from if I had to guess, I would say most of our snow geese have pushed south, and then it's going to warm up quick next week. Like Tuesday, it's going to be 60 for the high. So I think next week it's going to get really good. A lot of our birds are going to push back up, and I bet it'll get really good. It'll be really sloppy, but I bet there'll be a shitload of birds.
I think this system saved Arkansas and probably Missouri snow goose season. Because if you look, before this, we were in the 80s. I don't know what y'all were, but we were in the 80s and 85 for a high. Those fucking birds are trucking it north. So I think this blast, I think it saved snow goose hunting in Arkansas and in Missouri for sure. For sure, Arkansas, definitely. But probably also Missouri.
I would say Missouri as well.
But
how much do y'all have over there?
So we don't have. We got 3 inches. When did all this happen? Was it Tuesday? What night? What? I don't even know what fucking day it is. I've been locked up.
Our first snow we got here was last Sunday night.
Okay.
And so we've had snow and cold and up to our balls.
But I think we only got 3 inches Sunday night, and then I think 2 days ago we got
3 or 4 or 5 more inches.
3 inches maybe. So 6 total.
Yeah, y'all got quite a bit because I was in Kansas, and my original plan was to fly home on Sunday from Kansas. I ended up getting stuck up there for a couple of days because my original flight that I had booked was from Wichita to Chicago. I had a layover in Chicago, and then from Chicago to Little Rock, and Chicago was knocked off. They weren't doing any flights over there, so that flight got canceled. And then on Monday, I rebooked another flight. I was going to fly to Dallas, and then out of Dallas to Little Rock. And Dallas, for whatever, I don't know what's going on, but they canceled their flights. I guess it was pretty rough down there too. I couldn't get home. Ended up having to hitch a ride and driving home. There was no airports doing anything the beginning of this week. I'm sure they're a little better now.
Were the roads terrible trying to get home?
Man, honestly, we drove all the way home. It wasn't that bad. Most of everything was plowed. Because we're running the interstate or the highway most of the way. But honestly, the worst roads were the last 30 minutes to my house. Yeah. This part of Arkansas has got more snow than anywhere that we drove from Kansas to here. We got the majority of it down here, I think.
Like Zach and Throckmorton, they had 14 or 15 inches of snow. They've got a lot more snow than us.
Right.
But I mean, it's not that bad here. The roads aren't bad here at all. I saw some geese. I saw a collared goose today that's got the transmitter on it, one of the specs, right off the road.
What color is the collar?
It's gray. They done them here. They banded and they put 20 transmitters on.
I think it was 3 or 4 years ago they did it. No, Reese was a kid. Well, I mean, they might have done it since then.
They've done it 3 years in a row here.
Oh, have
they? And they're doing them in Frederick right now.
They spray paint it the color of the goose. That way it's not that way it doesn't get sniped as easily.
This one was obvious you could see because she was kind of bending over eating, and you could see it on. I think they're all females too. They put the transmitters on.
I'm not sure.
You saw a collared speck from the road and drove off and left it. You're a better man.
It's 15 yards off the road, and I'm not going to break the law, Cade. I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, I would never do such thing.
You know that transmitter is going to show that it got shot or that it just expired right there all at once.
Fucking coyotes eat geese every day.
What are you going to do with that transmitter? You going to take it home?
You just pull No, you just leave the transmitter and you take the collar.
You say you found this goose.
Well, that's
sadly
the key
passed
is to have
away.
the transmitter. Yeah, I'm not that kind of person, Cade.
Goose was running from his life from his coyote. You smoked it with your vehicle. Somehow the transmitter's still intact.
Well, you want me to tell you where it's at? Because it's going to be at the same spot this evening, probably.
Don't, devil, get behind me.
But, yeah, it was right next to the road. I'm talking it wasn't 10, 15 yards off the road, and you could just see it. But it was obvious that was it because the way she was moving her neck. You could just see it, plain as day.
You could tell. Did you take a picture?
No, I was going 50 miles an hour.
Oh, you didn't even stop?
No, I was in a hurry.
They're going to the casino here after a while. So
that's not why I was in a hurry.
Jeff he's not in a hurry for it. He is not wasting any steps today.
I was in a hurry to get back here to do a podcast. I'm not going to casino for 3 hours. Yeah, but anyways, whatever. I had to get to
Jeff in a hurry. That's his name.
Jeff's in a hurry.
Oh, here we go now.
Stays in a hurry, especially when the casino is calling him. It's like a beacon.
I have been holed up with Michelle for 5 days now, 6 days. I'm ready to get out. And I'm fixing to go on a road trip with her on Saturday. So
y'all are leaving Saturday, not Monday?
No.
I thought y'all were going Saturday.
Where are you going?
We are going to Mount Rushmore, and we are going to go to northern Minnesota because we hadn't been cold enough.
Hadn't been cold enough here.
And we are going to go and ice fish and go snowmobiling.
You could have done every bit of that here. Every bit of that.
There's nobody around here got an ice shanty.
Fucking Miller
Nobody's
Creek,
got a snowmobile here
Miller
either.
Creek has however many inches of ice. You can walk out on it. You can ice fish out there.
When we planned this trip, it was 76 degrees here already, and we was like, it'd be nice to go up north and take pictures in the snow.
Yeah.
It's something to do.
Y'all usually take a road. Y'all do that every year?
We do a couple of
every other year.
Nah, we do something. We do a couple of road trips every year. We'll go to. I'm sure we'll go back to the East Coast this fall sometime, and then we're going to Michigan. The whole family, grandkids, and everybody. We rented a house up there for a week. I can't wait to do that, and then we'll probably go back to see Payne. If Payne's in the United States, we might go see him for some time. He'll be bored to see us after a day or two. So I don't know. Yeah, but we're going to go somewhere. We're fucking old. We want to go do shit.
If I had Jeff's kind of money, I'd just burn mine.
Oh, Lord.
I hear you.
So are you, you've been going hard since September.
September 1.
Are you kaput? I mean, you got to be getting close. Even at 20 years old, you got to be getting close to your end for the year.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Turkey season is in sight. I'm over it. To be honest with you, I still enjoy it. I'm still passionate about it, all that good stuff, but I'd be lying if I said I was still hard up to go kill a goose.
Yeah, I mean, it changes everything, especially when you go as hard as...
You have a girlfriend?
No, I do not.
I don't think you can right now.
Well, yeah, you can, but I'm just asking.
I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but not for this old boy.
So you don't have a girlfriend, and so you're a Tinder dater like Mikey was.
Man, honestly,
Where's the hottest chicks you've been to that you've met this year on the road?
Dude, we ain't been around no chicks.
You ain't seen no hotties nowhere. You haven't met any good-looking women.
Not at a restaurant or anything.
Met one in Montana. Got her number and she never texted me back. So that
happens to Mikey all the time.
Freaking Mikey. What's he up to now?
He's snow goose hunting, and I talk to him every day just about. They had a good hunt.
Is he still talking shit about Asher?
All he did was say
that was so funny. That episode was probably the funniest one you've done.
Asher reminded him of an asshole. That's all it was.
That was so funny.
Mikey's easy to talk into a circle.
Yeah, and that's basically all we did for an hour with him. But he's hunting with Dirty Bird.
Oh, really? In Arkansas?
Yeah, they killed 120 birds yesterday. That's the best hunt he's had.
Yeah, Dirty Bird's been doing well. I think that's just because they're one of the only ones actually hunting and during this thing. I didn't know Mikey was with them. Do you know who he's running? Is he with Matt and Matt Spread?
He is with, what's Matt's last name?
Shit. Damn it. Matt Peel owns it, but it's Matt, something weird.
The kid he's working with is out of,
I know it. I just can't.
He is not with Trevor Bennett.
No, he's somewhere in Michigan.
He's not with Trevor and Seth and them. Okay, well that's the people that I know. I know Trevor and Seth and Calvin and all them. I don't really.
He is working out of a camp with a guy from Michigan or somewhere. He told me. I've heard of the guy that he's hunting with. I just can't remember. Matt Gardner, maybe. That sound right?
Maybe that doesn't ring a bell for me.
I know. I get so confused on names anyways. But anyways, he seems to be enjoying it some. He said his truck broke down on the way. His transmission went out on him in Texarkana, so his mom had to come to a hotel with him, and she lost her wallet on the trip.
Oh man,
just typical Mikey shit the whole way.
That's Mikey right there in a nutshell. Not bad enough that you blow your transmission. Your mom's also got to lose her wallet and all of her credit cards.
That just sounds like snow goose hunting in Arkansas.
Yeah,
it's always a shit show.
So y'all don't do y'all not do any snow goose trips?
Man, we really haven't done a whole. I've hunted a handful of days, 3 or 4 days here in Arkansas,
but not for dive bomb taking pictures or anything.
No, yeah, for dive bomb, but I don't really consider them a trip when I get to sleep on my own bed. But yeah, we've done 3 or 4 with a couple different guys here in Arkansas. That I've worked for dive bomb on those trips. But as far as like traveling for snow geese conservation, really, we did some in Kansas the other day, but the reason I went was to finish up the dark season and ended up getting stuck, and then we hunted snow geese just for the hell of it. But it wasn't like our intentions weren't to go hunt spring snow geese or whatever. But no, other than that, we don't really have anything on the schedule to travel and hunt snows.
Now, I don't.
We're also kind of burnt out at this point.
Did Asher knock his wife up again? I did see that, didn't I?
He did.
That's what I saw. Congratulations, Asher.
They knew that when they were out here.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yep. I think he actually Asher found out when we were sitting out there where y'all are sitting.
He knew it was a boy when he was out here.
Oh, I can't. It's been a long season.
Maybe not them.
Maybe he had just found out that it was a boy.
That's right. We found out he was having a kid when we were in, I think, Wisconsin. No. Oh, we were in one of those states up there when he found out, but then he found out it was a boy when we were with y'all.
Okay.
That's what
I think I did remember. I just saw it on Facebook the other day or Instagram or something.
Yep. I think they're going to name it Jagger, something like that. Pretty cool name.
Yeah.
They were skiing somewhere. Where were they skiing at?
Yeah.
Breckenridge?
Yeah, they've been in Breck for the past week. I think they're back now. They are back now, but they were in Breckenridge for 6 or 7 days skiing. Asher's a huge. I never really knew that about him until recently, but he freaking loves skiing. Like, that's his gig. When he gets done with hunting, skiing's what he
looks like
to do.
a skier.
I've never done it.
Let me tell you something, son. I used to ski a lot when I was your age. It's something to do at your age right now. You do not want to do it when you're an old man.
Yeah. I've never even done it. I would like to. I think we're going to try to go next year after waterfowl season, but it looks fun.
Andy and my brother and them are going. The whole family. They didn't invite me and Michelle. They're going. When are y'all going?
We knew the answer.
In 3
weeks. We were
weeks?
to invite you.
3 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Tony will end up having surgery in about 5 weeks probably because he's too damn old to be doing this shit too.
Andy, have you done a lot of skiing?
Oh, God damn. Don't ask this question. Fuck.
I'm going to fucking answer the kid.
I'm sure you are.
I've been a handful of times.
Okay, good.
I've been a handful of times. Half a dozen maybe.
How would you rate your skiing, though?
I can go down Black Diamonds, which is the most.
Well, I can go down a Black Diamond myself.
I can go down a Black Diamond and not fall. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff can go down, but he's head over heels.
Yeah, it's the whole way. No,
it wasn't head over heels. It was just fucking on my heels.
His ass doesn't even get off the ski lift. 2 years ago.
This time, I just said in my memories.
He doesn't get on the ski
I used to be a
skiing
skiing jack a long time ago. 100 pounds ago, I was a damn good skier.
2 years ago, we decided to take a family ski trip. Everybody was going to go. Jeff, my mom, everybody.
Dumb idea.
Jeff, ahead of this, was just talking shit. Oh, anybody that can't get off the fucking ski lift, and he just carried on. His big ass tried to get off that ski lift, and it was just down goes Frazier. Almost, immediately. He didn't make it fucking 3 feet, and he's flopping around. You probably saw a beached whale when you were in Alaska. That was Jeff on the mountain.
I bruised my heart. I felt so bad.
The ski lift.
Is there any video footage of this?
Tony has some.
Yeah, Tony has some somewhere. There's poor Jeff. He's trying to get up, and the ski lift chairs, they just keep coming. So, he's ducking and dodging those, and he did that 3 or 4 times, and on the last one, I looked at me and Zach kind of looked at each other like, is he going to get up? Because he might be dead right there.
All 3 of my sons were around me looking down at me. I think they were doing paper, rock, and scissors who's going to have to do CPR on me.
Who's got to go help
him?
So, but to answer your question about me, I'm a proficient enough skier that you can stick me anywhere, and I feel pretty comfortable.
Until he skis somewhere really tough.
I don't know.
You haven't ever skied a hard place?
Black Diamonds, baby.
You go over to Taos and ski.
Well, Jeff, when my kids get up old enough, I probably will.
You and Tony could fucking run over there one morning and just tear it up.
I've got my kids,
yeah,
Jeff. This is a family vacation. I'm not selfish. I like to spend time with my family. Unlike running off to a casino.
What am I missing? My kids are raised. I've raised my kids.
I said my family, Jeff.
I've raised my family.
Okay.
I don't want to go with your mom to Target and to fucking Nordstrom's or fucking Macy's or wherever the hell she's going to go. So.
You're making this all about you, and it's very selfish. Cade, you're 20 years old. So how long had you been taking pictures before you got on with Dive Bomb?
Since before I got on with Dive Bomb. Let's see. I've been with Dive Bomb for a year. Probably 2 years prior to Dive Bomb. So that'd be 3 years from right now. Probably been taking pictures for 3 years. I started my junior year in high school, just kind of dabbling in it. I got pretty serious about it pretty quick when I started doing it. I realized that there was a little bit of opportunity to make a little money doing it. And, I never had any intentions of doing it full time or ever seen myself working for Dive Bomb or anything on that scale. But I knew that there was some opportunity to make a little bit of side money doing it. So I started getting into it pretty heavily right off the bat. Just trying to watch as many videos and learn as much stuff as I could learn as fast as I could and make myself as good at it as I could. But yeah, probably 2 years before Dive Bomb.
I mean, the pictures that you take, I mean, they're all amazing. The best one that you got was the speckle belly.
Dude, I knew you were gonna say that.
Speckle belly.
That's one of my most proud pictures, dude. That was That was awesome.
Which one?
I was laying right beside Easy. Remember, I was laying on
you
your
were laying right next to me. I'll pull it up for you because I don't think I can pull it up now.
My favorite picture you have is the one of Reese and Andy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those.
Dude, yeah. The one, my favorite one that I've taken of y'all, I think it was last year when we came, not this past year, but the first time I came, I think it was, there's a picture, I can't remember if it's the one, it's not the one where you're holding Reese. There's one where you're holding him and walking, but there's one where it's you, or there's, let's see how, I think it was your dog and then and then Reese right beside you. All three of y'all walk in. I think you and Reese both had a goose, and then the dog had a goose.
Reese, because he can't sit still. If we're getting out of the blind to go get birds, he's got to go get the birds. Here's that picture, Jeff, of the speckled belly.
That's an awesome pic right there.
But I know which one you're talking about. But before you guys came this last trip, Asher was like, "Listen, I've got to get a picture of a mature speckled belly over our speckled belly decoys." He said, "Out of every picture we've taken up and down the flyway, we do not have a mature bird with his feet down over the decoys." And I'm like,
no pressure on you there.
Exactly
no pressure at all. And then when you said, because I think you looked up to me and you're like, "We got it," and then you showed me, and I was like,
"Got it." Yep.
Fucking A. We definitely do, sir.
You got a picture of Dad too from 2 years ago in there.
Yeah. Yep, I do. That was that's cool. I'm glad I got to capture that.
That's some good times right there, I'm telling you.
Yes, sir, it is.
Stoked. You got a good attitude, and I mean that's what's so good. I mean, you're a young kid, you're passionate about what you do, but I mean you don't take any of it for granted, and that's what's so nice to see because there's a lot of, and you don't have to hear this. You know that there's a lot of guys that would love to do what you do, and you're fortunate to do it every day. And just your attitude is really good. You got a good future for you.
What's Cade going to be doing when he's 30?
That's a really good question.
What do you want to do?
Man, I don't know. Doing something I enjoy. I know that.
But nothing you got really planned?
That's about as far as I know. Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? That's 10 years from now. I could be with Dive Bomb doing what I'm doing on a much bigger scale, or I have no idea, man. I really do not know.
Do what your heart leads you to do, because I'm a firm believer that if you enjoy what you're doing, you don't ever have to go to work.
That's the way I look at it, man. Money's not a huge thing for me. Obviously I want to do well for myself, but as far as being a millionaire and making all the money in the world, that's never really been a goal, or I've never really even considered money, and I'm only 20. I've got a long ways to go, and I'm sure this will come later in life, but for where I'm at now, I've always just looked at it like I've got buddies that are working their ass off with a blue collar job, welding every day, and they hate it, and they make really good money, but they work their ass off all week long, and then they party on the weekends, and then Monday they're back at work. And that's not the lifestyle that I want. I would rather do something that I genuinely enjoy and make enough money to do okay, make enough money to be okay with myself than to make all the money in the world and hate my life. Happiness and enjoying what I do is huge for me. I don't know where I'll end up 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but I'm pretty confident I'll be doing something I enjoy.
Well, I have been poor my whole life, and I enjoy what I do. And I got a lot of friends of mine have a whole lot more money than I do, but I've got a whole lot more memories. So go do what you like to do.
That's the way I look at it.
Do you think Canada's going to be open this fall with everything that you know?
Man, I sure hope so. But I don't have a good feeling about it.
No.
I just don't. For some reason, I don't. With the way things are going, I definitely see it a good possibility that they keep it closed, but I sure hope that's not the case. So another 2 months of early goose season is going to be hard on this old boy. I need to get up there and shoot some mallards.
There's a picture of you and Nick in the flooded timber, and it looks like it's raining.
Yeah.
What was the details with that hunt?
Man, super, super special hunt for me. That's, if not, I mean, I would probably go as far to say that's my favorite hunt overall in my lifetime. Well, actually, that stretch, there's 3 days. That was day one in the rain. That picture you're talking about was day one of 3. But those 3 days were so special to me. So that day in the rain, that was the second day of season here in Arkansas. We worked the first day. We had a dive bomb deal. We hunted, and me and Nick, we videoed and took pictures. And when we're doing that, it's, we get to hunt a lot. We hunt every day of the season damn near, but it's not like we're just going hunting every day. We got to work and we got a job to do while we're doing it. So it kind of, you got to separate it and have days where you're working and days where you're hunting, where you get yours. So we hunted the first day of season in Arkansas and worked, and then we had the next 3 days off. It was going to rain on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday were supposed to be sunshine. We had all 3 days off, and Nick had plans of going back home. He lives in Virginia. He was going to fly home. And I was like, dude, just stay we got these 3 days off. You know, we've got some birds here. Let's just stay and hunt, just the two of us. And that's what we did. And that was that day in the rain. That was my dog, Deacon. That was his first hunt ever. This is his first season. I got him this summer and trained and worked with him all summer. And so that was kind of his debut. We walked in on some public ground in the rain. We were the only ones in this spot. And I'd been scouting it since before season. I knew there was birds in there, and I figured there would be a lot of pressure, but for whatever reason, there wasn't anybody in there. We went in there that day, and we shot our 8 greenheads and just watched the show. There were so many ducks. Like, I've got videos on my phone where we were picking up decoys, and ducks are still coming in. Like, that was just unreal. The hunting was so good. It was in the rain. We walked in on public ground. It was my dog's first hunt. He picked up all 8 of them. It was just super special to me. And then the next 2 days, we went back on the second day, went back to the same spot, and we got there super early, slept in the truck to be the first ones there, and trucks just started coming in behind us. We didn't tell a single soul from the first day. I don't know how people found out or what made people come on the second day, but for whatever reason, there was a lot of trucks pulling in that next morning. So we were like, yeah, screw this. Like, it's not even worth hunting with these people. Let's just go home. So we left, and this is at like probably 3 in the morning. We drove back to my house, got to my house, took our stuff off, went and sat down on the couch. We were just going to go back to bed. And then Nick was like, damn, dude, like, I'm only here for 2 more days. Like, we should at least just try to hunt somewhere. So we started looking at the map and knew this spot on the river, on the Cache River. And the river was so low. It was at like 5 foot, which is super low. You can't put a boat in it. And not a lot of people hunt the river when it's that low. But I was like, well, we got this spot. We can go walk in and just try it. So we left the house after we'd already taken all of our stuff off. We put everything back on, went back out. This is at like 4:30. Walked into this hole. Neither one of us had never been in. And, dude, it was just a bloodbath the second day, just like the first day. There was not a lot of birds, but the birds that we saw were high ducks. So hunting on the river, when the river's up, 8 or 9 foot, it's flood stage, these ducks will actually be milling, low-flying ducks in the woods. And those are the ducks you're traditionally killing in the woods. But that day, the river was so low, there was duck traffic flying over us, but they weren't necessarily planning on coming where we were at. We're hunting in the river channel. So we threw out like 2 dozen decoys, and we were both just blowing cut down as loud as we could blow it and breaking these ducks. I've never broke ducks like we did that day. Like, we were breaking ducks that a normal person wouldn't even blow a duck call at. You never would even consider calling at them. They're so high. But we were breaking them and putting them on the water and killing them, and that was so special. And that was Deacon's second hunt. We did it again on the third day. His first 3 hunts, he got to witness 2 limits, shot every day, and which isn't anything impressive, but it's just so fun. Like two-man hunts, especially in the woods. There's something about being in the woods or small groups is so fun because you can like land the ducks on the water and pick your shots and only shoot greenheads and like shooting them close. It was just, dude, those 3 days were some of the most special hunts I've ever had. I think a lot of that has to do with me and Nick are really good friends, really close buddies. And so we got to do that together, and then having my dog on his first couple of hunts and being so good, he got the full experience. It wasn't like, that's what I was so glad about his first 3 hunts where, he got to see the whole thing. He walked in, he saw the deal, and he was watching ducks land right in front of him. We were shooting ducks at like 10 yards. He watched them die. He could mark them and go get them. Like, it was just a really good, he learned a lot in a short amount of time on those first 3 hunts. He saw how it's supposed to be. So that really, I think that's what really advanced him so quick, because now, he's not the best dog in the world. He never will be. He's not wearing any ribbons or anything like that, but he does really damn good for me, and I'm super proud of him, especially training myself. It was so rewarding about those hunts.
As long as he gets the birds that you knock down, then he's really doing,
Exactly. He's got good manners on the dog stand. He doesn't whine, and he's pretty chill whenever he's hanging out on the dog stand. And whenever it's go time, he knows what's going on. He goes and gets them and brings them back. And that's all I want.
That's all you want out of a dog. Well, Cade, man, we've taken an hour out of your time. I really appreciate you coming on here. It's been a pleasure talking to you, bud.
I appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Enjoyed having you on, and look forward to seeing you next year.
Yeah, hopefully we see you in November.
To it too. We'll be there.
We'll
be there in November.
You be safe out on the left coast, all right?
Yes, sir. I'll do it. Y'all do the same.
All right. You have a great day, bud. God bless you.
See you, buddy.
You too, man.
Bye.
Thanks.
Cade. I got to figure out how to turn these motherfucking notifications off.
There you go, just blowing it up with just vulgarities, Andy. Just vulgar. Terrible.
There it is right
That's
there.
Cade Trickey from Dive Bomb, folks. Good job.
Pisses me off. Every time that would go off, I was just like this.
Your sound deal?
Fuck yes.
Well, you need to get on that.
I finally figured it out. That's what I was doing the first half of the interview, was trying to figure out how to turn those damn notifications off.
Well, Ski King, we got that. We got you covered here. All right. We're going to have this podcast is coming out when tonight? Probably?
Sure.
Friday?
Sure.
Is that when that? I'm asking you.
Works for me.
And we got canceled for our podcast for Friday.
Oh, we did?
Weather related, yep. So, anyways, we'll figure out what we're going to do. Anyways, God bless everyone. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it very much. Check us out on YouTube. Peace. Yeah. He just texted me. Whoops.
All right, go check out all of our sponsors. Check out Foul Bandit, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Gundog Outdoors, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, Pacific Calls, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Duck Club, William Chris Wines, 14 Cattle Company, and Blind Grass.